Full Moon Bog's Women's Weekend has been an important part of my life for more than 30 years. The friendships I have made and sustained through the years have played an essential role in my growth, my lifelong learning, and my quest for self-contentment. Margaret provides a place and space of acceptance where nature's tranquility allows the spirit within each of us to evolve. We all grow in maturity and in comfort to become our authentic selves. We all bring our gifts to share with others, enriching each other by freely sharing our talents. Margaret has a gift of meeting each person in the space they are in, linking like-minded people and sometimes polar opposites, providing that vehicle or catalyst to build the confidence to share our gifts, the skills assigned to us by the Creator at birth. Margaret Mary sets her own bar very high to make a difference here on earth. In our own quest to keep up with her, we quite naturally find our own pace to evolve into our authentic selves and make a difference.
The target area sizes vary. We already have a kind gentleman who took the largest route, 23. And so please let me know what you think you can cover in the time we have left. We're due to be back here at noon. Remember to eat, okay? So I'm going to need a team leader for each route to take 1 or 2 walkers or more to a specific area to distribute the doorknob hangers.
If I could just interject, for anybody who knows anything about Christianity, today is Holy Saturday, a day before, and anyway, they bless the water, the new fire, and this is the kind of spirituality that needs to be integrated into our churches today. So I really want to thank Margaret for being the initiator of integrating the spirituality of the earth and water and all that's needed. It's really needed.
Thank you,
in our
Linda.
churches.
It's a team effort. I credit my friends and you people who show up to assist. Thank you. In a very special place to me because I grew up just near Baird's Creek here.
Yeah.
So I grew up playing in the water and picking the hickory nuts and hiking, and I did a lot of hiking in this area, like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, until I moved up north. Yeah, so this is a very special place to me. And I was one of the people that worked with Kim too to get this to be a city park, and I really think it's a green gem in the city. So yeah, we like having our events here. One of my favorite things was to be set off walking around this field picking asparagus with a brown shopping bag and a little knife, and I would run into snakes and partridge and other wild animals all by myself. It was very meditative, and I just really loved doing it, being outside. For a few years I thought that I wanted to work for the DNR, and I was told no, women couldn't do that, it was only guys. And then of course I went into the convent, the nunnery, and I was with the Franciscan order, and so St. Francis is the Catholic patron saint of the environment, and so that fostered a love for the out of doors as well. One of our number 1 recreational activities was to walk, walking meditation. And I still practice that today. I also, being from a large family, I'm the oldest of 13 children, and so recycling and being frugal was just the way we lived. I was grateful when I left the convent because that was the time of the hippies, and I started letting my hair grow, and I had jeans that were not pass-me-downs, but they had to be passed back up to me because when I left the convent I just had convent clothes, and so I fit right in, so I was glad that I had holy jeans.
Yeah.
Then of course when I started teaching, I learned that my budget was constantly being cut, and I was forced to recycle you know, and so I would scavenge and beg, and you know, we would need different things for different projects, and I have I'm blessed with so many friends, and so they would help me out, you know, gathering, like, we need egg cartons, or we
Right.
need milk jugs, and they would show up. When it was my birthday, I said to Steve, all I want for my birthday is to see a bear's den. And Wayne knew about this one, so close to my birthday, we went hiking in the woods, and we tromped and tromped and tromped. And where the bear supposedly wasn't there. So, but there had been a warm spell, so maybe he got up and moved around, you know?
Yeah.
But he wasn't where Wayne thought he was. And so I was like disappointed, but you know, it was a great tromp in the woods, so I was okay. And so months later, a friend of mine who works for the DNR said, Margaret, did you ever find your bear's den? And I was like, no, I didn't. She said, well, do you want to see a bear's den? I was like, yes, I want to see a bear's den. She said, will you be at the DNR station at 7 o'clock Sunday morning? Because they were going to go out in the woods and they were going to tranquilize the sow bear because they wanted her to be a surrogate mom. I think she had a collar on already, so they knew where she was. And they wanted to refresh her collar and make sure that everything was copacetic, so that if bear cubs were injured on the highway or their mother died, or, you know, something happened, that this sow could be a mother to the cubs that were, you know, lost their mother. Yeah, and so, and apparently it's real easy for them to do, because this sow had 3 cubs, and so we went to the site, and they tranquilized the bear, and it usually takes 20 minutes for the bear to relax, and it didn't work, and so they tranquilized it again. I think they have to wait. I think we waited an hour and a half total, but they have to wait a while before they can put another gun in her. And so, and the tranquilizing gun was this great big long pole that he put in the den and had like the needle on. And so he did that, and finally it was safe for the DNR guy to go in there and get the bears. And so he brought out these 3 little cubs, and they were so adorable. They weighed like 5 and 6 pounds, and they cried, and they sounded exactly like babies. And so when they brought them out, they said, open your jackets, open your jackets. And so we opened our jackets, and the bear just, talk about a bear hug, their little claws were digging right into my ribs. And they were making little noises, and so one of them started suckling on my chin and my ear. It was absolutely wonderful. And there was a gentleman from further south, he might have even been from Illinois, but he said, you had that smile on your face the entire time. You were just so happy, and I was. So that's my bear story, one of them. She was interviewed in the paper. They did a special on her when she was working at, I want to say, Humana, and she praised me in the article because she said that I was into recycling before it was in vogue, and I didn't mind if people colored their trees purple.
Yeah.
And went outside the lines, and so yeah, that's my Tina and Tasha and Owen on the plane in Yugoslavia, and then a picture of Steve and I in Arizona. Steve with his crew at Martel Construction. They gave him that, and a picture of him in Vietnam when he was 18 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Just a kid.
Really?
Yeah. I shouldn't be sending kids to war. And it's a group of women that do good things,
Yeah.
cool things in the world, and I thought, she's just inspirational to me. I have no idea who she is. I'd love to find out who she is, but I thought, she looks like she's in her 80s, and she's speaking at a podium to women on the move. I just thought that was cool. And
It doesn't need to be a specific person.
Right.
It's the idea.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Of being that and
Yes,
doing that.
Yes, it's like a visual
Yeah.
motivator. And then this, actually, it's a real long story, but this, I experienced a lot of synchronicity. I call that magic. And synchronicity is actually, coincidence is God winks, some people believe. But this was basically a dream come true. I was living the dream. I had this night dream, and I was living it in the daytime reality. And then I came upon this image at a dream conference in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I actually wrote to the artist to find out what this meant to her, and some of her description of why she put that imagery in her art really resonated with what I was dealing with in my life. So just kind of keep that there because I like that a lot. Enthusiasm, it comes from a Greek word that means, like, I don't like using the word God all the time, but God's spirit in you. I prefer the word creator, because I think that takes care of everybody then, because we all have a creator.
Right.
In expressing that, enthusiasm expresses the spiritual. And I think it's important to have balance, the meditation and being introspective, doing reading, obviously you read because you know things, but I think that contributes, but it doesn't have to be so tight, narrow, rigid. You can have a looser interpretation, because an example is last night at the dance, we honored a gentleman who had been an ardent environmentalist and traveled a lot, especially out west, and canoed, kayaked, hiked. His church was the woods, that was his chapel, and that's what I frequently recommend. I mean, that's where I get my spiritual, my downtime, or my centering time, or for balance. So one I met an astrologer / psychic lady up in Marquette, Michigan, and she said, all those workshops you do, that's how you play. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. And so I was talking to another woman who actually is in charge of the gardens in Green Bay, these gardens we've been working on. And I was explaining to her, another lady, that, I enjoy stuff like this. It's work, but, I enjoy it. That's how I play. You prepare for a workshop, and you get everything organized, and you lay out your syllabus, and you have all your materials and supplies, and you have this idea of how it's going to flow. It's like fun for me. It's play. And so people see it as work, and you're doing too much. You're running here and you're running there, but it's fun, and you meet neat people, and you get other ideas. And one thing I like to emphasize to young people is to pay attention to your dreams. Dreams can give you little hints of the daytime reality. And so I just encourage you, write down your dreams, Owen, because you'd be surprised how psychic you are. Like, most people think, oh, Margaret, she's had all these psychic dreams, all this stuff has come true. And I think if you did it for 30 years, you'd have just as many stories. And the thing is, you have so much life ahead of you. I have this much life ahead of me. You have that much life ahead of me. And if you could use your dreams to guide you and direct you, especially for the future, when you have all these job opportunities or adventure opportunities or relationship opportunities, it's just good to know which direction to go, and your dreams can be affirming.